All right, I have to hold two microphones. I'm not sure why, but good morning, everyone. How are you? I'm still kind of half asleep. It's Vegas, so I'm sure a lot of you can relate. How many of you, by a show of hands, were over at Gold Coast yesterday? All right, so you heard this yesterday. Don't give it away. So on Monday morning, I did the the grand opening or the kickoff to this great event. And I've been to this event for a number of years. Unfortunately, I was unable to attend last year because of television conflict. But this year I'm back, and it's great to see all my friends. And I would just like to say, from myself personally, I'd like to give you all a big round of applause for all you've done, both active and retired military, all you've done for this great country of ours. Thank you so much. So to kick off the grand opening, we had a beautiful sermon that was given by Reverend Tom. And after the sermon, I actually had a story that involved myself, but I didn't have the heart to say it right after Tom's beautiful sermon. So I saved it for the second day when he wasn't there, and I'd like to share it with you this morning. So I was bowling a tournament some years ago, and I think it was maybe somewhere in St. Louis, and I walked into the tournament, and I had two black eyes. And Pete Weber walks up to me, and he says, "Randy, what the hell happened?" And I said, "Well, buddy, I was in church yesterday. Yesterday was Sunday, and, being Catholic, when you go to a Catholic Mass, there's a lot of kneeling down and standing up and kneeling down and standing up and kneeling down and standing up. And I noticed the lady in front of me, well, her dress was going up the crack of her rear end. She had a dress wedgie. So I reached over and I pulled it out. She turned around and socked me in my right eye. Weber said, "Well, what happened to your left eye?" And I said, "Well, I knew she didn't like her dress that way, so I pushed it back in." And that's why I didn't say that after the Reverend's speech. On behalf of Storm the Bowlers Company, I want to wish you all the best of luck. We truly appreciate your support. And just have a great day, guys. And it's great to be back here at probably the greatest tournament that I've ever been a part of. Thank you so much for having me today. Best of luck, everyone.
Good morning, everyone, and welcome to the 2015 Military Championships. It's the doubles day. We've been here the last couple of days. Tim Mack, West Pie, bringing you the coverage. And today, a very special treat. Get to work with my friend, Randy Pedersen. Welcome, buddy.
Thanks, Mike. It's always great to see you and work with you. And, this is the best event I've ever been a part of. When you come to the Military Championships, it's like one big family. It really is. How many bowlers do we have? 1,800 or so?
Yeah, and over here we've been full, every day with 3 squads, 3 on a lane, 600 plus bowlers, and the action's been really good too. There's some really good bowlers here. We've had a bunch of 299 games. We can't get over the hump. We've had 1-300 John Hughes, and that was during the team event the first day, and just a lot of cool action over here. And you've been over at the Gold Coast, and it's even more action-packed over there, a ton of bowlers.
We've had a lot of 300s over at Gold Coast as well. I can't remember the count. I want to say it's up to 7. So lots of striking going on here at the Military Championship.
Yeah, so Randy, let's introduce you to lane 17 and 18 and 19 and 20 as you get your first chance to take a look at what we have going on over here. They're bowling on the house shot today. It's a 42-foot pattern. They've been bowling on it the last 2 days, and we've seen these guys really get dialed in to this pattern.
I like the fact that they're able to bowl on a house shot. They come here for fun, for the camaraderie, and they don't get beat up trying to figure out how to bowl on an extremely flat pattern. They can have fun, they can throw strikes, and it's all about having a good time.
Yeah, and just a few minutes ago we saw you do a little opening joke, which was really cool, and then we saw yesterday's singles champion. You presented him with his plaque right on the spot. So I believe he bowled about 10:30 yesterday. It was really close to 10:30 for the 4 games, and here on this 8 a.m. Wednesday squad bowl and doubles, they're going to bowl 4 games again. So 1,000 is a good score. We saw 5 or 6 of them yesterday across the 3 squads.
And you were telling me earlier, wasn't there an 80-year-old gentleman that bowled 299?
Yeah, there sure was. And we also had an 81-year-old gentleman the day before bowl 289.
Could you imagine being able to bowl 299 at age 80?
I want to be able to just watch somebody bowl 299 when I'm 80.
I just want to be able to watch bowling when I'm 80.
So 17 and 18, 19 and 20 in front of us here. We've got several doubles teams, and we've got a superstar here also that I want to talk about on lane 17 and 18. The gentleman down there with the hat. And we interviewed him yesterday, and I'll tell you the story when he's up to bowl because it's a good one. Gentleman's name is Stoney. I mean, he looks a little bit like Sam Boyd at this Boyd property. And he's also in his 80s. So leadoff bowler on lane 18. He'll be up here in just a little bit, and we'll have a chance to talk a little bit about Stoney. Stoney's 81 years old, bowling on 17 and 18. Hey, we got a lot of great sponsors here too, Randy. Storm's been with the Military Bowling Championships for many, many years, the title sponsor. If you're looking for a new bowling ball purchase, you should consider Storm Bowling Products. Head over to stormbowling.com. Great lineup of bowling balls. There's something for everyone. And of course, also Turbo, 2-in-1 grips. Chris Sand is here. He spent some time with us in the booth yesterday talking about all the great things going on at Turbo. Counts Customs, Bowlers Journal International, Enterprise Rent-A-Car, Jim Beam, and Randy, a few more sponsors here.
And by Budweiser. Thanks for letting me do that one.
Edelman Financial, K&K Bowling Services. We took a tour of the pro shop yesterday with the wireless camera. And Southern New Hampshire College University also helping present this entire tournament and make it possible for you. I want to welcome in all our folks into the chat this morning. We've got an Eric Altenberg fan here, 10 Pins 300. Has been with us every day in the chat. Thanks for coming back and joining us again today. Lane 17 and 18, Eric Altenberg. And then also SPD CRX says, we'd like to see Gary Holman and John Doherty over on lanes 21 and 22. And as each game develops, I get out and I roam with the wireless camera. And when I'm able to do that, we'll bring you some more bowlers as we go along. The coverage will continue. Same as always, and a little bit later we'll have Wes Pyle also be joining us as the third member of our broadcast team. And every time I say that, I think of your Sunday PBA telecast when Mike J says the third member of our team is Kimberly Pressler. And I've been calling Wes Pye, Michelle Tafoya, Aaron Andrews, Kimberly Pressler. It's been fun. And Wes has really enjoyed sitting up here in the booth the last few days. So look over here on lane 18. I'd like to introduce you to Stoney Burke here. And Stoney's 81 years old. And look at the way he throws the ball.
Got to move a little right, Stoney.
Still got good form. You know, this tournament's been going on for 57 years.
Wow.
Brad Edelman and his group acquired it in 2005 as one of their assets. And if you want to see any of the scores from the last couple days, head over to militarybowlingchampionships.com and you can see how the folks have done in the team event and the singles event. Again, this is the doubles event today. And it is a scratch tournament. Earlier in the week we were talking about, we thought it might be handicapped because we just didn't know. This is my first time being here, but this is a scratch event.
Mike, I have a little nugget for you. Who did the grand opening for this bowling center back when it opened? And I want to say it was 20 years ago. Let's see, wait, let me do the math. 20 or 22 years ago, the grand opening of the Orleans Hotel, Casino, and Bowling Center. Who did the grand opening for this bowling center?
Like a first ball type thing?
Like the first ball thrown down the lane, the blue ribbon cutting, the grand opening. They literally opened the doors to the public and the bowling center. Who did the grand opening?
And this was probably, what, 70s, did you think?
No, 22 years ago, 21, 22 years ago.
22 years ago. Okay, so we're looking at, wow, okay. I'm going to go with, I'm going to go with either Stone 8 RP or at PDW Bowling.
Stone 8 RP and Mark Roth.
Wow. Well, I was half right. Stone 8 RP being Randy Pedersen's Twitter handle, and if you're not following Randy on Twitter, you certainly should. Stone 8 RP. Always fun following you on Twitter, my friend, and make sure you give Randy a follow on Twitter. He's also got a Facebook fan page, and Randy, you've been doing a good job updating that stuff, so if you're a Randy Pedersen fan, make sure you do those two things for sure. That's cool, man. So you were here with Mark Roth.
Yep.
And tell us a little bit what happened there, like what you guys did. Did you remember how many pins you knocked down? Did you guys both strike, anything like that? Or
we bowled an exhibition match and did some trick shots, and there was a bunch of folks here at the time, and my good friend Rich Karuba was here at the time, and it was so long ago, Mike, that that's pretty much all I remember.
Did they give you like some extra match plays for the blackjack tables, or did they give you like some free play on your Boyd Gaming Sapphire or whatever color card you had at the time?
No, but they had some of the hottest ATM machines in town that day.
Hey everybody, game number one. We're just getting underway. Mike Flanagan and Randy Pedersen here, bringing you the morning squad. We got 3 squads today: 8 a.m., noon, and at 4. They're bowling 4 games each, and 6 to a pair. Lasts about 3 hours, and just really been a cool tournament to be a part of. It's a beat the board tournament each day. Today is doubles, and one thing we've been talking about too is just what great attitudes everyone here has. They're all happy to be here. There's no kicking ball returns. There's no negativity about the pattern. It's just a bunch of happy-go-lucky people that are just really, really excited to be here bowling, and they're all dressing the part. They all have different jerseys and all in collared shirts, and they're just not out here just throwing the ball either. They're very competitive, a lot of camaraderie. We talked about it yesterday. It's almost like a hybrid between a college bowling tournament, a PBA event, and the USBC Open Championships. This is their Open Championships that they can come out and bowl. And they'd like to bowl more, but they're just so busy doing other things that they don't get to bowl as much as they would like. And this is the one event they get excited to come out and bowl.
Well, they're all military. I mean, they learned something when they were in the military, and they live by a certain code. And they bring that to this competition, and it's really a nice change. It's really nice to see, and that's why it's my favorite event to work throughout the year. I started Monday morning at Gold Coast, did the opening ceremony, and then I started on lane 1 and went all the way down to lane 70 and shook everyone's hand. There's over 210 bowlers that squad, and every one of them knew who I was. They follow bowling, they're bowlers, they watch us on television, they've followed my career over the years, and it's an absolute joy to be here and cover this event.
Well, I'm happy to have you here today. There's no doubt about that. And Randy, I know that you've been busy. I just got done watching a pretty cool live telecast a couple weeks ago over at South Point here in Vegas. And it was a 2-hour show, which, we don't really get the opportunity to have 2-hour bowling shows very often. And kudos to Tom Clark for being able to get that kind of airtime. I know that the regular Animal Championships were only an hour-long show, but I thought those were pretty quick and pretty cool. And we've seen some really cool new winners come into the winner's circle with DJ Archer and Anthony Pepe. But this last telecast, you and I haven't had a chance to talk about it, and I figured maybe we could talk about it now for everybody to hear. That top 5, broadcast with Wes versus Mike in the final. And what were your thoughts on that whole broadcast?
Well, I thought it was a great show that I think looking back on it, it's kind of a blur, but I want to say that I think just about every match came down to the 10th frame. And anytime that happens, that's always a good thing for the viewers. But the anticipation and the buildup was all about Wes Malott. And getting to that 10-win milestone, 2 majors, stamping his ticket into the Hall of Fame. So that was the buildup, that was the tease. And, Wes, he started off great, looked like he had the perfect ball reaction, was making great shots, and then he got one wide and left the 210 and missed it. And Mike Fagan, he had a nice blueprint in terms of understanding what the oil pattern was giving him. And that's a very tough thing to see when you're coming in for one game. You're the tournament leader. You only get X amount of practice balls prior to the title match. And so Wes Malott is going off of what he's seen in the last couple of games and his practice balls. That's where he makes his determination as to where he's going to stand, where he's going to look, and what ball he's going to throw. But he really doesn't have a great feel of mistake area, carry, and exactly what the lanes are giving him. Mike Fagan did, and that's a huge advantage. I always thought a great spot to come from when bowling on television in a stepladder finals was the number 3 position. Mike Fagan was the number 2 seed, and he got through that first match, and now he's got a real good idea of what the lanes are giving. He was able to survive that first match by making some changes. And in the beginning of that match, he was trying to open up the lane.
He was hooking it.
I mean, he was really going sideways with it, and gradually moved right and went straighter. And ultimately, that's what won him that title.
Also won the Masters going straighter.
Well, now, at the Masters, when he won that, he was going real straight.
Right.
And so, it says a lot about Mike Fagan. It was his first win stateside in quite some time. And it also shows you the versatility that he has in his game. The last 2 majors that he's won went really, really straight, and then just kind of a tweener shot.
I don't know if you had a chance to check out what happened last weekend on Extra Frame or not, but the DHC over in Japan, the emergence of Christopher Barnes back into the winner's circle, bowling 300, receiving 5 million yen. That was an $86,000 payday for Mr. Barnes over there at the DHC. Did you get a chance to catch any of that?
I didn't actually see it on Extra Frame. I just read the press release, and obviously there's a lot to be said about changing equipment, finding equipment that is more conducive to the way you throw it and what you like to see. And I think it says a lot about the 900 Global Bowling Balls when Chris Barnes uses it for the very first time in competition against great competition, and not only wins but bowls 300 on television.
Yeah, and for any potential sponsors sitting out there, I know that since he won with that respect, that 900 Global is getting a bunch of inquiries about staff. I've seen a lot of Facebook messages about how good the respect is. And I realize this is a Storm broadcast, but with 900 Global being a partner of Storm, a company that's very, very close to us, that we're assisting, that respect looks like a really good ball, and to see 900 Global come onto the scene and more bowling balls be used by more people, and people need to build arsenals, and there's nothing wrong with having a 6-ball arsenal and having 4 Storm balls, a Roto Grip ball, and a 900 Global ball in your bag.
Absolutely. And we've been talking with a lot of the bowlers here this week, looking at their arsenals. We have some balls that they have an opportunity to purchase during this event, Optimus and High Road Solid, and a lot of them will come up and ask us. They'll actually bring their whole arsenal to me or to some of the regional sales reps, and they'll say, hey, can you take a look at my gear and maybe give me a suggestion on what holes I can fill, maybe some suggestions on layouts. And we've been doing that for the last couple of days, and it's been a lot of fun explaining to a lot of the players, listen, when you're when you're putting together an arsenal, it's like putting together a set of golf clubs. You're not going to go play golf with 5 drivers in your bag, and you'd be surprised. Some of them have great systems, great arsenals. You know, they've got an asymmetrical ball, then they've got a fairly strong symmetrical ball, and then something that goes pretty straight. And then obviously there's a lot of players here that carry a lot of bowling balls. So just trying to educate and answering questions about the balls that are available here this week. But you're right, it's all about putting together the right arsenal, and it's got to match your game and the way you throw it.
Here's Eric Altenberg. Take a look at this right here. That's the front 6 right in front of us, right here, 17 and 18. And we know we've got a 10 pins 300 here in the chat. Been talking about Eric. Front 6 might have a 300 right in front of us. Who knows? Hey, Randy, I know you love social media, and so do I. So let's get an opportunity here to share a little social media here. Let's bring us up on the screens here. This is going to pop up on my phone here in just a moment, and I'll take a screenshot and I'll tweet it out with a picture of us up here in the booth. So as soon as this thing comes up here, we'll be good to go.
Okay.
So we just got to look at Smile here for a minute. Okay. So as soon as we're on about a 30-second delay here on our phone, so we just needed to do that for social media. I'll get that out and take you back out to the lane, 17 and 18, 19 and 20. Then we'll do a little camera crash course here. We'll take care of some housekeeping duties, get out in the field. We got the front 7 over on 21 and 22. So we've either seen the last couple days, Randy, I know you haven't been here, but either game 1 or game 3 have been the really, really hot pairs, or the hot games. I'm down at my phone here. I'll look up. All right, got that there. I've got some friends of mine, Matt Turek, who we worked with at the Inside Bowling Tournament. Our producer sends me a message. Hi, Mike, screenshot this. I'm laughing out loud. I love Matt Turek.
That's awesome.
Remember on the Inside Bowling broadcast, we started on this farmersonly.com thing. Remember that? He still gets the biggest kick out of that. You know, he's just such a bowling fan, and he just loves being able to sit down and working with you. That's just been a highlight of his. And all these guys that participate in these Inside Bowling broadcasts, all the different folks that we get to sit in the booth, you know, it's just awesome. But anytime you're in this chair with us, it's really a treat for all of us.
You had to bring up farmersonly.com.
I did. It's one of my favorites. One of my favorite moments.
You know, Mike, now that I'm single, I should probably go to that site and maybe put a pick up and put a couple picks up and see see what happens.
Well, if you want to go shopping for a straw hat and maybe a scarecrow or something like that.
Now, how do you know that's what you're going to see on farmersonly.com? Come on. I bet you there's a lot of really nice people on that site.
Well, I'm sure there is. You know, I watched this show called The Bachelor. And right now they got a farmer on The Bachelor.
Do they?
Yeah, they do.
That's awesome. I hope he wins.
Now, Farmers Only should be sponsoring The Bachelor this
right?
year.
Hey, can you send me that picture to my phone?
Yeah.
Thank you.
I just do that right now. Oh, geez, Matt Turek now talking about Hot Pockets. Remember that, too, from the IB Open?
Hot Pocket.
All right, that photo's coming over. Oh, and we've had our string broken on 17 and 18, but not over on 21 and 22. So let me give you a crash course here on how this works, buddy.
Okay.
Okay, so this is our preview screen over here.
Yep.
And then this is what's going out.
Preview screen.
Preview going out.
Gotcha.
So these are our options down here on what we want to show.
Gotcha.
So right now I'm on this one, okay? But if I want to preview this one, which is the same thing, but you and I up in the corner,
Gotcha.
then you click this button, and it comes over.
Okay.
Then you got to then queue up what you want in your preview.
This is called program.
Correct. Preview program, okay?
Gotcha.
So basically, if we wanted to then take us off the screen and then put in the scores, I'd click that.
Gotcha.
Okay. This guy over here is the wireless camera.
Okay.
Okay, which I need to get working because it's not connected right now. So, and then if we didn't want any scores or anything else, you just do that one right there.
Gotcha.
So these are how these work. So this would be the wireless, and then you would bring it over. Okay, so I'm going to go check on that really quick, get my wireless working, and we'll see what we can do.
You got it. That Mike Flanagan is one talented guy. I'm not sure there's anything he can't do technically. Good to be working back once again with my good buddy. And we're here at the 2015 Military Bowling Championship. Coming to you live from the Orleans, Mike Flanagan and Randy Pedersen. Hello, everyone, and welcome to beautiful Las Vegas, Nevada. You know, Mike, they've got a new slogan here in Las Vegas. It used to be whatever happens in Vegas stays in Vegas, but now it's whatever you bring to Vegas stays in Vegas. Just thought you should know that. Lots of great bowlers, lots of striking going on. Front nine, I believe, over on 21 and 22. Just a pair to the right of us. Mike Flanagan working frantically right now, trying to get the handheld going. I think.
Okay, so let's do a practice.
I think we have action.
Let's do a practice.
Okay.
So you just hit that little button right there, brings you right over here to this one, and then queue up the scoreboard one, and then bring that over. So that's how we'll do that, okay?
Okay.
So I'm going to go over there now. And once I get it kind of steady, then we're good to go.
Mike Flanagan moving over to 21 and 2, where we have a potential perfect game.
Yeah, so if you want to bring it down now, I can start covering this pair here. Let me know when we're on.
We are up.
Okay, so there you see up there, folks, the front nine. And right now we're getting a look at John Doherty.
Good looking game there.
Yeah, still got 196 left.
John actually sent me a couple of Air Force shirts 2 years ago that my son and I wear proudly. My father was in the Air Force for about 4 years, and John, thank you very much for the gifts. Greatly appreciated. We wear them proudly.
These guys are all in their 900 Global jerseys.
Hey, this just in, Mike. 10 Pins 300 just gave us a shout out. He said Black Cloud Alert.
Yeah, at the Holiday Doubles tournament this year, where I was not able to be part of that broadcast, they actually had a black cloud up on the screen once someone had the front 7 or 8 in a row. And for some reason, that has really carried over to this event. People either loved it or hated it, but there's a lot of lovers of that. All right, Randy, can you take it over to the main pair, and I'll get set for a good angle here?
You got it.
Okay. All right, here we are, buddy. You can bring it back down. Josh Kramer working on the front 9, looking for number 10 on lane 22 here on this opening squad of doubles here at the 2015 Military Championships here at the Orleans.
Wow, nice game. Great result, great shot. I like to start my morning off with a little cup of hot tea and a perfect 300 game.
Josh Kramer looking for 11 in a row. Randy, you might be the magic touch here. This has been where we've seen a lot of 299s, a lot of guys not able to get the last one over the last couple of days, but Josh Kramer here bidding for perfection. 300 has the front 11. 8 a.m. in the morning here, first game at doubles. His partner, Chad Germano, possible 236. They could open up with 536 to start the day here from the Orleans. He did it, Randy. 300, Josh Kramer.
That is awesome.
300 to open up. You just saw it here on InsideBowling.com. And Randy, take us back to the regular pair, and I'll get an interview with Josh.
All right, Mike. Anytime you're ready, sir.
Over real quick. Let's get you queued up. All right, Randy, you got me?
I do. Here we go.
Hey, Randy, here with Josh Kramer. Just bowled 300, the second one that we covered here on Inside Bowling, and a lot of people have been bowling 299. Were you nervous at all?
Oh, yeah. Definitely nervous. This is the first time I've been able to bowl in front of my wife, so that added a little extra, but I was glad I was able to make a good shot. So
That's awesome, man. First 300 in front of your wife. That's pretty cool. What is it that you've done to defending our freedom here in this country?
Well, just pretty much doing what I'm asked. You know, anything they need me to do, I'm willing to go anywhere around the world, do what I have to do to make sure we can enjoy the freedoms we enjoy every day.
And what division are you in?
I'm in the active duty division, so I'm stationed here at Nellis in Las Vegas, so enjoying it.
Awesome, awesome. How many years have you been coming to this tournament?
This is my second time. I was going to try to bowl last year, but, you know, military commitments come up. But this is my favorite tournament I've ever bowled in because it's just the camaraderie and, you know, it's just such a good feeling being here. So I enjoy it.
Well, we appreciate all that you do. Good luck the rest of the day, man. That's a great start. Congratulations.
Thank you. Thank you.
There you go, Randy. He's really happy down here.
Yeah, good stuff there, Mike. And congratulations, Josh. What a great game. Good stuff here at the 2015 Military Bowling Championship. Congratulations to Josh.
We can do it all here, brother. I can even get Randy up in the booth. Here, why don't you switch the camera yourself? This is, for those of you that need a guy that can do it all, this is Stone 8 RP up here in the booth.
This is the first time I've ever directed, just so you know. The director is the one that moves the cameres.
Look at this. This is, I mean.
This is good stuff.
How
I love
great
it.
is that? Huh?
Good stuff.
Randy directing today.
Nothing better. You know, it just kind of broadens my work and what I can and can't do. And, you know, if I ever lose my voice, I can just sit in the truck and just start clicking buttons.
I think so, dude.
Great.
I think so.
Queue up on red,
That's
queue up
right.
on blue, Roll blue, roll red.
Yeah, but by the time I'm done working with Randy today, he's gonna have all these cameras labeled. He's gonna go get flags, and one camera's gonna be yellow, one's gonna be red. He's gonna be spray painting everything.
Oh, man, good stuff. Good stuff. We got some big games going on right in front of us, Mike. I'm going to turn it back over to the action because people would much rather watch that than me. 278 on 17 and 18. Some big scores early on here in the first block this morning, Wednesday morning. Glad you could join us. Hi, Matt Turek. And no, you don't have to be afraid for your job, my friend. Wish you could be here with us, buddy. I'll have a hot pocket for you later today.
Hey, Randy, I'm down here on 9 and 10 if you want to bring up the camera. Brian Browing.
I've got you.
Working on 290 here. Not his best shot, but great game for Brian. 288.
Great start. He's got 277 right underneath him. Again, lots of striking going on. A lot of good bowlers at this event. You put good bowlers on a very scoreable oil pattern, and you're going to get scores like this.
I've got James Hobson here. James working on 277. Let's take a look at his game.
I love that shirt, by the way. Nice shot. Good result.
Looking good.
It's a great shirt.
That is cool, man. Take it back to the main pair, and I'll see what else I can find.
You got it, my friend. We are here at the Orleans for the 2015 Military Bowling Championships. I'm Randy Pedersen with Mike Flanagan, who is lane side with RoboCam.
You know how hard it is to hold a camera steady and talk into a mic?
Yeah, it's not easy. You should have like some kind of wireless clip.
I need a lavalier. Or,
right?
I need like a John Papa or Billy Joel, those harmonica things.
Yes.
You know what I mean?
Yes.
And then it could just like be there.
Or a Madonna headset.
Ooh, that would be good.
Yeah.
I'm a material man.
Yes, you are, my friend.
And I'm not going to talk about Madonna's other songs because then we'll be fined by the FCC.
By the way, I love those Gucci loafers you're wearing.
I think you're the only person that's ever commented about these shoes. I like it. I like that. Thank you. Being away from home and so much traveling, and I know how that feels, and working with you this morning has put me in a better mood.
I have no idea what you're talking about. I've only been doing it for 34 years. You know what? I'm considered a roadie, I think.
I know that you are, and here's what I want to know: Have you labeled your suitcase home? Like, is that home?
No. What was that song? Anywhere I lay my head to rest is home. It'll come to me sometime. Sometimes working with me, Mike, is like 50 first dates because I can't remember what happened last time.
You know what? I just like it how, like, when I worked with the other guys the last couple of days, they're up in the booth, and when I'm roaming, they're talking up in the booth, but when I'm roaming and you're there, you're actually looking at me the whole time.
I'm sorry, I was being spoken to by somebody else. What'd you say?
I was just saying that when I work with the other guys in the booth, they're in the booth, and when they're talking to me, and they know that I'm remote, but they're up in the booth doing their thing. But when you're in the booth and I'm out roaming all over the place, you're looking at me the whole time.
Is that bad?
No, it just means that you care about what's happening to me at the time.
Exactly right.
I'm kind of getting like a man crush here for you
Well,
again.
you know, we've got some of that going on. You're my bro Chacho.
And we're part of the PR team together, which is
We are.
exciting at Storm.
Yep.
All right, so it looks like game one's pretty much in the books. Game two getting ready to get started. We're just finishing up on 19 and 20 here in this 4-game block of the 8 a.m. squad here at the Military Championships. And actually over on 13 and 14, I just spotted something, Randy. During the team event, John Hughes bowled 300, and John Hughes and his pair of 6 are over on 13 and 14, and John opened up with 211 this game, and we'll have to keep an eye on 13 and 14 because there are some players that can play. 223, 211, 220, 211, 230, and a 167 game on that pair.
Hey, I just heard a rumor that the singles champ Ed Reed shot 298 first game.
I'll go get a confirmation on that. 35-6, I believe, is where he is at.
I believe you are correct, sir.
My mic won't reach all the way down there, so once I get past about this pole, you're on your own.
Hi, everybody. I'm flying solo. Mike Flanagan is now out of range, and he's down trying to check on a score. Some great scoring game one. 300, I believe, a 298. 278 right in front of me. Some big scores going on. Lots of striking, lots of fun being had by all, including myself and Mike Flanagan. We care about you too, Matt Turek. And yes, folks, Matt does like ham and cheese Hot Pockets. For those of you that were fortunate enough to join us on our Inside Bowling show that we did in St. Louis for the IB Open with myself, Matt, and Mike, Hot Pockets was a hot topic. Don't ask me why.
And hey, Randy, this year at the IB Open, the last 2 years been really frantic. Our computers just overheated the last 2 years, and wasn't a whole lot of fun from a production standpoint. But I've got a whole new setup here, like this whole preview screen and everything. This is all new. I mean, it's a whole new program, and it works beautifully.
How long does it take you to pack all this stuff up?
Well, because it's much smaller now, it's about an hour.
How long does it take you to set up?
2 hours to get everything connected and working, and then about another hour of getting all of my screen build set up and graphics and all that kind of stuff.
How many cameras are we working with?
I have 4, but I can expand to 6.
Nice.
I do have a couple of other old school CRT, like security cameras that I can plug in that I can use for scoreboard cams.
Okay.
But they're real finicky, and with a big crowd, if they get bumped just even a little bit, it's a nightmare. So right now we have 4, and we're utilizing them as best as we can. We really love the wireless camera because the wireless camera, the other streaming services don't have a wireless, and it's really nice.
That is, RoboCam is pretty cool.
Like, remember when we did the ABT just a couple months ago? I was able to take that wireless camera and just set it down lane on the gutter cap.
Right.
And I didn't have to run a wire. And you
Oh,
get that
it was RoboCam that was giving you the come-go shot.
Exactly.
That's so cool.
I'm going to update Facebook here with our picture. Oh, it looks like the picture I tried sending you failed to send. Or no, it looks like you got it. Did you get it?
Yeah, I got it.
Okay. Matt Turk's having fun this morning. He's going to go stream the Fusion Realtors tournament this weekend up in Iowa. He and Ricky Matsko. So if you're looking for some more live coverage of bowling tournaments this weekend, Inside Bowling will be at the Fusion Realtors Open up in Waterloo, Iowa. You're watching the second game here at the 2015 Military Bowling Championships. Mike Flanagan and Randy Pedersen bringing you the coverage of this 4-game block. We've got a squad at 8, at noon, and at 4. We appreciate you joining us this morning wherever you are, watching our fine servicemen and women bowl in this great event. It's been going on for 57 years. A little bit later today, we're going to have the first ever all-female team bowling on our live stream pair. I believe it's coming up at 4, but it might be the noon squad. I can't remember, but we will be seeing them today. And they're really looking forward to being on camera.
Are they going to be on our showcase pairs?
They will.
It's my lucky day.
That's right, brother. And we had Julie the showgirl here on Monday.
Feathers?
Uh-huh.
Feathers
Yep.
coming out?
We
Yeah.
interviewed her. It was
Yeah?
probably one of the most exciting interviews I've ever done.
Really?
She just loved being here, and she loves seeing the bowlers and our military folks. She loves it. That picture actually turned out pretty good, buddy.
Yeah, I mean, we are dead sexy in that picture.
I will tell you, Monday was pretty cool because Wes Pye wore a white shirt, Tim Mack wore a blue shirt, and I wore a red shirt. And we were up in the booth, and we all took our jackets off, and we looked at each other, and we're like, unbelievable, red, white, and blue. It's pretty wild.
And it wasn't planned.
Was not planned.
Was not staged.
I didn't know Wes was going to dress up. He wore his white Oxford Storm shirt. I mean, he really, really enjoys sitting in this booth, and we enjoy having him.
Wes is a good conversationalist. Never short on words. Very good listen. Fun guy. Good guy. I've known Wes Pye for a long time, and he's one of the good guys.
Yes, he is. Pretty long days here at the military also, Randy. I'm not much of a morning person, although I'm starting to get used to it more and more. But these 3 squads each day, I find myself getting very fatigued. But then when I really think about it, and I think about what all of these people do on a daily basis, and I just can't even imagine what it would be like to be on assignment with some of the things that they have to do. It really makes me just really feel good about being here. I mean, these folks, I don't even know what to say. It's just, it's breathtaking. I've always wanted to get to this event, and I always enjoy, like, the true amateur tournaments and all the great bowling events, but this is one that's really special to me.
Yeah, and me as well, for all the same reasons. I could just can't imagine some of the things that these folks have to endure being away from their families. I always get really choked up when ESPN runs the tributes that they do to when you see some of the troops come home to their families and surprises their little ones, the little girls, and they walk out to the field, and unbeknownst to the family, the dad shows up, and just the faces, the expressions on the families is just it's just priceless. And to just watch that kind of stuff, man, I get choked up every time I watch it. We owe these people, a lot of gratitude. And for us to come out here and work these long hours and do what we do, it's a small price to pay for what these men and women do.
Couldn't have said it better.
Mike, if you could play or be in a rock band, superstar rock band, would you be lead singer, lead guitarist? What position would you play?
Dude.
Let's say you were in Journey or Boston or Led Zeppelin. Who would you want to be?
Man, I'm a lead singer kind of guy. I just, because you can improv. I love improv. You can change words to songs. You can dedicate things to people. I'd have to do that. I have respect for every other position on stage, though. I do have to say that, because those people make the lead singer look good, no question.
All right, so now if you could be any lead singer in the world, because I know who I would be, who would you be?
I'd have to be Bono.
Really? Interesting.
Because of the fan base and the following and what they do at their shows and how much money goes into those productions, and that's who I would. I mean, I'm a Blink-182 fan. They're my favorite band, and I do catch grief about it a little bit. But I do really like punk rock. Green Day, Billy Joe from Green Day would be good.
Mm-hmm.
But Tom DeLonge, but really Mark Hoppus from Blink-182, they also play guitars while they sing.
Right.
And I think that would be entirely too difficult for me to ever be able to pull off.
Right.
Playing an instrument and singing. I also like the lead singer from Fall Out Boy.
All right, so you want to know who I would be?
Totally. I'm totally into this.
Are you ready?
Yeah.
I would be Robert Plant.
Oh, okay. All right.
Yeah. And the first song that I would sing to get the crowd going would be "Babe, I'm Gonna Leave."
Okay.
There's quite the range. There's quite the range in that song. Second song I would sing would be "Achilles' Last Stand."
Okay. No, I like that.
And I mean, after those two songs, I've got the crowd. We are just absolutely rocking, and they are all mine.
It's funny you mention music, because the last couple of days we've actually done a lot of music references at the 4 o'clock hour.
Uh-huh.
Where we were actually broadcasting with only using lyrics from songs.
That is awesome.
So this morning when you hit me with this music question, it just goes to show how in sync all of us are, and there's no pun intended with in sync, by the way.
So instead of doing music today, we're gonna use movie cliches.
Well, we did a little bit of that because we started talking about military movies.
Okay, all-time favorite military movie is?
Well, we've been talking a lot about Top Gun.
Terrible movie.
A lot about Top Gun. And I was enlightening some folks with some Top Gun trivia, by the way. Let me tell you, you say it's a terrible movie, and it's one of those 80s movies that I love. But I do want to share one stat with you that may make you feel a little bit better about the movie. Do you know that not only was the movie put together to make money, but it was also done to recruit? They needed people to sign up for the Air Force at that time in our military.
Mm-hmm.
And do you know the very next year after Top Gun went to the box office, 500% increase in people that enlisted into the Air Force.
That's strong.
It's pretty cool.
All right, so my 3 all-time favorite military movies, all time,
Okay.
in order. Ready?
Yep.
A Few Good Men,
Oh, yeah. Well, okay.
Platoon,
Yep.
Full Metal Jacket.
Okay.
Need I say more?
I kind of like Forrest Gump from a military side also. There is some military references in there with Lieutenant Dan. But I can't argue with your 3.
You know what, Mike? You can't handle the truth.
Well, I saw you eating breakfast over there 30 feet from 600 bowlers who are trained to throw strikes.
Wow. That was pretty good. You need me on your team. You want me on your team.
Randy, don't think that you can come up here, speak your ESPN language.
So good. So good. Wearing your Storm shirt and try to intimidate me.
And your fancy headset.
And your fancy headset.
Who, you? You, Lieutenant West Pie?
Good stuff.
You've got me so engaged in conversation that it's taken me like 5 minutes to update my status on Facebook. I just want you to know you distract me.
I just want you to know you complete me.
We were talking Jerry Maguire. I gave these guys a trivia question during music hour yesterday. I said, what's going on? What movie is that from? When Rod Tidwell is singing at his own wedding with Jerry Maguire. He's singing, "Mother, Mother, there's too many of you crying."
Sing it, Mike. Sing
Brother,
it.
brother, brother. Yeah, I wish I had a voice. I really do. Could you imagine how many more viewers we would have if I could actually just start belting out tunes?
Yep. Have you heard those guys sing and harmonize?
Oh, I know.
Oh, my Lord. They're so good.
Could you imagine you and me on the sing-off?
No.
Cruising along here, we got the front 5 ×2 on lane 18. And we've got some strings of brewing, so about the 7th or 8th frame, you know what that means. Put down one headset, put the earpiece in, grab the wireless camera, and start walking 500 miles. Dun-dun-dun-dun.
What a great shot. 80 years old, that gentleman right there. Get him, Stoney.
Yeah, Stoney is the man. I interviewed him earlier this week. It was so funny. I was walking down where bowlers were bowling really well, and this young lady grabs me out of the crowd and goes, "Excuse me, do you know how old he is?" And I'm like, "Who?" "Stoney." I'm like, "No, I didn't. He's 81 years old. Did you know that? Look at how good he throws it." I said, "Well, we can certainly take care of that right now, and we'll get him on camera." And I did a nice interview at the settee. Here in the chat, Lone Survivor, Saving Private Ryan, Full Metal Jacket is 10 Pin 300's top 3.
Have you seen Lone Survivor?
Yeah, with Mark Wahlberg.
Yeah.
Yeah, and let me tell you how I stumbled across this movie. Kim, once in a while, just will record some movies and have them on our DVR. And when I happen to be home for a weekend, we'll kind of kick on some movies on a Saturday night around 9 or 10 or so. So she's like, hey, I've got this movie here, Lone Survivor. And honestly, I don't know how I missed this movie, like how I didn't see a trailer or how someone didn't tell me about it, but it just slipped through the cracks.
Right.
So I start watching this movie, and I love Mark Wahlberg, and I'm getting into this. And about halfway through, dude, I'm like sweating. I mean, my feet are sweating, and it's not because I'm all covered up. It's because I'm into this movie. And they really did a good job of making you feel like you were there.
Yeah.
Crazy movie.
You know what other military movie I really enjoyed was Zero Dark 30. Have you seen it?
I did, yeah.
I really enjoyed it. There was like very little action or no action until the end of the movie, but everything that went on leading up to that was unbelievably awesome. Now, have you seen American Sniper?
No. Timmy Mack went and saw it last night.
I want to see it.
I do too. We should go see it tonight,
We should.
Now, if we went to the movie theater, you and I, and we were sitting in a row that was completely empty, and it was just you and I in the row,
Right.
would we sit right next to each other, or would there be a chair between the two of us?
Negative Ghost Rider, the pattern is full. There would be a chair in between the two of us.
Do you eat popcorn when you go to the movies, or are you
I
just
do.
a soda guy, or what do
No,
you do?
I have to have popcorn.
So do I, every
Yeah.
time.
But we're not sharing. You're going to have your own bucket. I'm going to have my own bucket.
Okay.
No sharing.
Even though it could sit on the seat right between us. Yep, we put you on today, Stoney. Yep, interviewed a couple days ago. You got a good group bowling with you. They're tearing it up. Oh, no.
Oh, no.
Wow, Stoney telling us he took a 5-hour energy this morning.
Listen, when you're 80 years old and you can actually do a 5-hour energy drink, that is pretty awesome. In fact, we ought to make a phone call.
Yeah, I know where you're going with that one. MG, give old MG a call.
Yep.
Hey, this is cool, man. Talk about coolness. We got the front 7x2 on lane 18. We got the front 5 over on 13 and 14, which is the pair that John Hughes is bowling on. John Hughes has front 4-9 spare. He bowled 300 on Monday. We covered it here. But Randy, I need to get on this because down on, I think it's 7 and 8, you got the front 8x2.
Well, you've only got a frame in between. You got to go down there and cover that, and then get back here to 17 and 18.
Yeah.
Hey, get your running shoes on, my friend.
Hey, isn't that Martha Navandella's Nowhere to Run?
Yes.
And you know how I know that? God rest his soul, Robin Williams in Good Morning Vietnam.
Good. Adrian Cronauer was the person that he played in that.
Yes. Fantastic.
Yep. Hey, favorite oldie song? That thing you do, The Wonders. Go get him, Mike.
Hey, Randy, what's more fun up in the booth, producing or reproducing?
Not even sure I want to comment on that one.
I love it. I'm walking down here, and I got the bowler saying, go get him, go get him.
It's a great event. Love covering this event.
Hey, here we go. Justin Stevens, he's a two-hander, if you want to bring up the camera.
I got you, my friend.
He's got the front 8, looking for 9. Not the best angle here, but I'll do the best I can.
Nice. Look at that. Front nine, front nine. Back here on 17 and 18, we've got the front seven twice.
Scores aplenty.
It's a strike fest, my friend. And 10 pins, 300. You got to do something with that black cloud alert. I think we overcame that in game one when Josh shot 300.
Yeah, and I'll tell you what, man, I think you're the magic touch over here, buddy. I really do, because I think we're going to have multiples again this game.
Front eight back over here. Eric Altenberg is getting up on lane 18 with the front seven.
And we've got front seven over on 13 and 14 also.
Got it.
This is the third day they've got the bowl on this pattern.
Mike, we've got front eight twice over here on 17 and 18.
That's awesome. It's really no surprise when you get your third look at a pattern, you get the ball on the same pair the whole time, the scores are going to go up. How cool is that?
Yeah, it's good stuff. And what's more fun than coming and bowling with a bunch of your friends and actually bowling well, scoring well, maybe picking up a 300 game along the way?
Hey, Randy, can you hit the camera?
Oh, I've got you.
Take a look at this. Front seven for Jason Albarosa.
Oh.
Still a good run for Jason. I'll be ready here in a minute on 7 and 8. Front 9 times 2.
7 and 8, front 9 twice. 17 and 18, front 8 twice. It is a strike fest.
I feel the need for strikes. Hey, Randy, next time you work for ESPN, if they don't give you an announcer, give me a call.
Okay.
I'll broadcast with you.
You got it. Oh. Oh, front 8, solid 9.
Did you catch the reference there with what I was saying there? Did you get where that was from?
Yeah.
Okay, I wasn't sure. You played it off so cool. Hey, down here to me, brother. 7 and 8. Got the front 9. Brian Walchin. Brian now has the front 10. This guy gets a handful. There's action everywhere. You got action down there in 17 and 18 right now too, don't you?
Yeah. We've got front 8 right now with Eric Altenberg stepping up, 9th frame.
And I've got Brian down here. He's on the approach looking for number 11. All right, we got the front 11 down here, Randy. I mean, Walchin looks like he just came out of the PBA Tour or something. This guy's sticking shots, looking real good.
Yeah, he throws it good. I love those pants, too, by the way.
They're Izod's. So here we go, Military Championships. Brian Walchin looking for 300. Lane 7 and 8 here from the Orleans.
Oh,
297. Wow. You don't see that leave every day.
the 2-7-10.
The 2-7-10, but hey, Justin Stevens, the two-hander, can go up and bowl 300 still on this pair. All right, Justin Stevens working on the front 9, looking for 10, lane number 8. Here on this opening squad. Game number 2, Military Bowling Championships. Oh, that's way left. Way left off his hand.
Well, that's what nerves will do to you, unfortunately.
Pretty big scores down here, though. Back to over there, brother. Down there, my mic cuts out a little bit down there. It's about the furthest our range goes, 7 and 8, 5 and 6 area.
Do we have any other strings? Oh, we got a string right here on 15 and 16, Mike. The front 9.
What's the guy's name on the tour? That's the gentleman that sits with the camera, the wired camera on the approach and the chair.
The handheld?
Yeah.
Charles?
We need Charles.
Charles he's my favorite.
He's very talented.
Every time we do a show, I always announce Charles's name to the crowd, and I introduce him as the most talented cameraman in the business. Charles Montgomery. He's a great guy too.
Wish you could throw it down to him for some commentary a couple times during the broadcast. Send it down to Charles. Charles, what'd you think of that shot?
He'd say, well, Randy, I think that was pretty good. Mike getting in position. We have the front 9. Donnie Benson stepping up. Donnie Benson, actually met him for the first time in Okinawa, Japan years ago. He's really good friends with Chris Barnes. Donnie's a good bowler. Real good bowler.
Boomer Sooner.
Bowled with him in Okinawa, Japan years ago, and guy can throw a lot of strikes. Let's see if he's got the moxie to throw 2 more here in the 10th. I promise you he's bowled plenty of 300 games. One more for perfection. Donnie Benson on 15 and 16.
There you have it, Randy. Another 300 game this morning.
You know, and you said when I got here this morning there'd only been one.
Only one. We've seen 2 already. You are the magic charm. The lucky charm, I should say.
Set it up for an interview. All right, take it away, Mike.
He needs to do something real quick. He said he'd do it with me in just a moment. So, be just a minute.
All right, back to the action on.
He said he would be right back. I don't know what's going on right now, but somebody just came and grabbed him. I don't know if he's got to go check on brackets. I don't know what it is, but he is on a mission. Maybe he wants to fill out his award score form, like right away. But we will hear from Donnie Benson. It will happen. He's not going to get out of it.
Do you remember the first game you ever bowled, the score?
Ooh, no, I don't. I don't remember the score. No.
I remember mine, 92.
That's amazing.
My dad took me bowling, and I shot 92. First game. Do you remember your first bowling ball?
Yes.
What was it?
Nitro. Makes me kind of young. Feel young.
Mine was a Manhattan rubber.
Manhattan rubber.
Yeah.
That's I had one of those as a spare ball for a while.
Thanks a lot.
I'll tell you something I used to do when I was in junior leagues, Randy, is I would create names of bowling balls.
Interesting.
So like,
Did you see that split conversion on lane 17? Sorry to interrupt, but
no,
the 3, 4, 6, 7, 10. Nice shot.
that's the Enterprise rental car split conversion of the day.
Nice. Nice segue into a sponsor plug.
All right, I think I'm going to get my interview finally that I've been dying for. Let's see what I got here. Oh, you're good. All right, Randy.
Take it away, Mike.
Yeah, I'm here with Donnie Benson. Just bowled 300, man. That's pretty cool.
Yeah, it was. It was pretty nervous having a damn camera on me.
Yeah, really? Are you a Boomer Sooner?
Oh, hell yeah. Boomer Sooner all the way, baby.
Okay, so what is it that you've done for our country? What are you in the Air Force, Marines? What do you do?
I'm in the Air Force. I work on computers.
Work on computers. Hey, maybe give us a hand up here in the booth. But, hey, man, it's got to feel good to shoot 300 out of the gate, or game number 2 here.
Oh, yeah, it feels really good. The first game, I missed the pocket twice and only shot 189. So, and right there, I actually missed the pocket once and still shot 300. So, I'll take it.
Hey, what makes you come to this event each year, and how many years have you been coming?
My first time was in '96. Deployments have kept me from coming here a few times, but what makes me come? It's a big reunion. I like to see my friends and family, really, and I'm all about brackets, so they have plenty of brackets here.
I had a feeling you might have been. Hey, is there anybody you want to give a shout out to back home that'll be watching this later?
Shout out to Doug Morton for drilling my equipment for me.
Okay, man. Well, good luck to you the rest of the day. Keep it going.
Thank you.
Donnie Benson, right here, doing it on the lanes. Randy Pedersen's a big fan of yours, too. More and more stories happening here, Randy, all day long.
And Mike, one of the golden rules you learn in broadcasting is don't ever let the truth get in the way of a good story. Just thought I'd let you know that.
Hey, that's good advice.
How about Ed Reed, 298, 279 out of the gate? Can you say cha-ching in brackets?
Unless he drew Doug Benson that game. Or Donnie Benson, I'm sorry. Doug Benson. Doug Benson has a podcast.
Donnie Benson shot 189 in the first game. How many brackets do you think he's going to get knocked out of?
Good call. I don't know if they run 1, 2, 3, 2, 3, 4 or not.
Yeah, I don't either. Josh Kramer had 10-15 yesterday. And Chris Ennis, his first bowling ball, a Black Beauty. Any of our listeners out there, if you could tell me what was the name of the bowling ball that was rubber, it was black, and it had the diamond on it.
I was talking about when I was younger, I used to come up with these ball names.
Yeah.
So, like, what I would do is I would take combinations of bowling balls that were on the market, and then I would add letters or squares or different things like that when that was going on like crazy. So, like the Kong X, the Manhattan T-Rubber. Remember, like the T-Shark and, just
Sure.
different bowling balls and things like that. I had fun with that. The electrical eyeball.
The LT48, no sign. The unsignatured. Are you with me?
Yeah,
All
I'm
right.
with you. I'm with you. There was one that I forget what it was, but it was just a combination of what everybody was doing. It was like the something C squared R or something like that.
I got to tell you, one of the most exciting times for me growing up as a bowler was getting my first bleeder. Opening up the box and pulling that yellow dot out of the bag, and it's just stuck to it. And it's gooey and sticky. I mean, it was like literally the most excited I'd ever been opening up a box, looking inside that box, and just looking at this ball just oozing everywhere. And it was like, my God, it's my first bleeder. And then we threw Sure D's. If you were lucky enough to find a Sure D,
Sure D.
man, those were great times back then. I didn't have to worry about paying rent, alimony. Great times. All I did was bowl.
Yeah.
I bowled and worked.
I'll tell you, I kind of wish I'd been born 20 years sooner because I would have liked to have been a part of about 20 years sooner in bowling. Not to say that I'm discouraged with where it is right now, and I'm very fortunate and happy to be a part of it right now. But just being around some of you guys like yourself and different folks that tell me stories, I would have liked to have been a part of that and been able to witness it and be a part of it firsthand.
Some of the greatest stories come from the older guys. Johnny Petraglia's got just phenomenal stories. Randy, what's your fave ball of all time? Matt, let me think. Oh, favorite ball of all time. There's been so many good ones over the years. It's so hard to come up with one fave. I got to tell you, I think I could probably say that the IQ Tour Solid is my favorite ball of all time.
I can tell you, dealing with the collegiate programs, that's the ball that they feel like they have to have in their bag and gives them an advantage when the lanes get to a certain point where you need just a really nice benchmark
even rolling ball that still is able to knock down 10 pins. That's the crazy thing about that ball. If you watch the way that the shot shape is, it's really nothing special as far as like a big booming back end. A lot of people just want to see the big boom down lane and the kick left. That ball is just a very steady arcing ball, but for some reason it gets through the front so good. But when you think that ball would get down lane and it wouldn't be able to carry a corner pin, it just remarkably can carry despite sometimes lacking a little entry angle for some players.
I can get that ball to go around the corner, or I can get it to actually stop. I can get it to kind of roll and stop, just based on what I do with my hand.
Game number 3 underway, 2015 Military Bowling Championships. Mike Flanagan, Randy Pedersen here with you, bringing you the morning squad of doubles. Be back again at noon for another set, and then again at 4. We've already seen 2 300 games this morning and a lot of strings of strikes. You're watching our featured pairs, 17 and 18 and 19 and 20. Here from the Orleans, Mike Kaufman and his team have done a great job hosting this event. Always gracious hosts and really happy to just be here. They also, over at the Gold Coast, another Boyd property, the leagues have been nice enough to not bowl this week to be able to host this event, and want to thank all the league bowlers over there for taking off their leagues, as well as over here to make room for this event. Robert Ingelston up on lane 17, looking for 3 in a row. Stoney's got 3 in a row as well on 18. I broadcast a lot of tournaments where more difficult, demanding lane conditions are put out, and it's kind of nice to see just a regular league type condition put out for this event. It's nice to see so many bowlers having good looks at the pocket and really feeling good about what they're able to do. And coming into this event, I talked to some folks that I wasn't sure what to expect as far as how good or how bad the bowlers would be. I just knew it was a military tournament, and that, you know, that's the biggest reason why I wanted to come here. But I am really pleasantly surprised at the talent level of all of these bowlers. We talked to the lefty yesterday, Mr. Johnson, and you know, he's probably good enough to be on tour, and he'd like to try the tour, but clearly with his duties, he's not able to do so. Made me almost feel like we should take the top 5 guys from this tournament, and if they could ever have a chance to go bowl an Oklahoma swing or a World Series of bowling or something, put a few of these guys in there. What a great story that would be if somebody could make a run to the show. Put some Storm Tour reps behind them and turn them loose. Continuing on, bringing you the action here, 2015 Military Bowling Championships, 17 and 18, 19 and 20 doubles today, if you're just joining us. 8 a.m. squad. Mike Flanagan, Randy Pedersen. Randy's getting some photos taken with some fans here right now. Everybody loves to see Randy. Getting a little out of sync here with some of the pairs. Some of the pairs are just finishing game number 2. Some are well into game number 3, and some are just beginning game number 3. So we'll keep up with the action and spread it out for you here. We do have some strings that are developing 4 and 5 in a row here and there. And whenever we got possibilities for a big game, we'll certainly get out there with the wireless camera. Really impressed with how many strikes are being put up on the board here. For these 4 games, 1,030 yesterday, 1. And today it looks like for doubles, I don't know, I would guess about a 1,900 would be a good score. Everything is scratch here at the Military Bowling Championships, which I did not realize that game number 1. That was something that I thought coming in that it would be a handicapped event, but it is scratch. Military Bowling Championships have been going on for 57 years now. 57th year of the Military Bowling Championships. Over here at the Orleans, it's mostly active duty, although there is some non-active duty mixed in as well. Retired military personnel, but over at the Gold Coast, it is veterans bowling over there. And a lot of people have asked, hey, are you gonna stream from over at the Gold Coast? And for those of you that haven't been there, there's not a lot of room on the concourse there, and there's so many bowlers there that we would really just get in the way of the tournament. So I really don't know how we could do that, unless maybe we stream from the front desk or something. But we will continue to work towards being able to cover more of this event for Brad and for everyone here that bowls the Military Bowling Championships. I'm Mike Flanagan, and I appreciate you joining us here at InsideBowling.com. Of course, great sponsors of the military tournament. Without them, it would not be possible to be able to bring you coverage and to be able to put this event on. So I want to talk about our sponsors again for just a moment. Storm Bowling Products, the main blanket sponsor. Storm Bowling Products, the #1 bowling ball manufacturer in the world. If you're looking for a new bowling ball purchase, we would really like for you to consider a Storm product. From the Premier line all the way down to the Tropical line, there is a ball that suits your game. Consult your local Storm VIP Pro Shop in your area. Talk to your ball driller, have them watch you throw the ball down the lane, and let them recommend a Storm ball for you. I promise you will be happy with the results. Also, Turbo 2-in-1. Chris Sand is here on hand, supporting this event. Joined us in the booth yesterday. Turbo, Counts Customs, Bowlers Journal International. Bowlers Journal just celebrating 100 years last year. Made the Today Show. Enterprise Rent-A-Car, Jim Beam.
And Budweiser.
Randy's back. Edelman Financial, K&K Bowling Services, and the Southern New Hampshire University. Randy, what'd you see out on the prowl?
I went in and visited the guys in the pro shop, and went and got myself a cup of hot tea, and said hi to some folks. There's a gentleman working here by the name of Mark Watkins that I knew when I lived in Santa Maria, California. His father was a 5-star general.
5 stars.
And I believe he was stationed at Vandenberg Air Force Base. But anyway, his dad was 4 or 5, maybe a 4-star. 4-star. Let's just go with 5-star.
Okay.
Because I don't remember it. It sounds better.
It does sound better.
But it was 4 or 5.
We've got 4 or 5 in a row all over the place here, but over on 23 and 24, we got the front 8. We'll keep an eye on that developing story. But before I hop out of the booth and start running around like crazy, we got a question here. Mike and Randy, what was the most useful bowling tip that's been the most beneficial to your game? Do you want to go first, or do you want me to go first?
Oh, you go first.
All right, this is a very basic one. And a lot of people, when I tell people this, they go, okay, Mike, seriously, I need a good tip. But there are times when you're bowling on a really, really tough lane condition and you're experiencing out of bounds and you're missing the head pin to the right quite often. And we know what happens. USBC Open Championships, perfect example for many, many players. So the best tip that I ever got was, if you want to strike, the key is you have to hit the head pin. It's really tough to strike without hitting the head pin. Okay? So, and I think about that all the time. There are times when the lane patterns, you're trying to cover boards or you're trying to do too much with the ball, and you find yourself leaving washouts too often, or you find yourself leaving some sort of combination where you miss the head pin. I try to put myself in a spot at all times that gives me the best chance to hit the head pin.
I like it. Mine's more mental than it is physical. There's actually two quotes that I like to use. They both pretty much mean the same thing. First one came from my old producer by the name of Mike Roth, no relation. And he said, don't think it'll only hurt the ball club. And the second best tip ever was, trust is a must or your game is a bust. You know who brought us that one?
Who's that?
The late, great Billy Whaley.
To go along those lines, I also like a trend is your friend.
A what?
A trend is your friend.
A trend is your friend.
So if you go trip four back to back, that trend becomes your friend, and you're going to keep tripping 4s.
I don't like that trend.
If you then make an adjustment and hit the pocket and start ringing 10s, you got to go with the trend.
Tripping 4s and dogs that chased parked cars don't last long. I just want you folks to see what it's like for Flanagan and this RoboCam. This is a great shot of Mike walking down the concourse, just kind of walking around, looking at all the folks, taking a look at scores. And this is RoboCam. I love it. What a great look. Nice work, Mike. Let me know when you're in position, buddy.
I will.
Front 7 on lanes 15 and 16 once again for guess who? Donnie's got the front 7. The gentleman that shot 300 the last game. He has got 19 in a row. I think that's probably more strikes in a row than Terry Rohr throws in a 3-game set.
Terry Rohr is a top 5 fan of inside bowling. Just want to throw that out there.
And the only reason why he's a top 5 fan is so we can mention his name.
He's a member of the Crux crew too, and he is really proud of that.
I'll tell you what he's not proud of. You want to know? The fact that his gym membership ran out.
He's the only guy I know that has koozies printed with his face on it.
Oh, Terry, you asked for it. You're going to get it.
You know how like on Martin Luther King Day, everybody wears those pins and it's got Martin Luther King's face on it and everything?
Uh-huh.
We need to have like a Terry Rohr Day where everybody wears pins with Terry Rohr's face on it.
No, I don't think it needs to be a day. I think it needs to be like a Terry Rohr hour. And during that hour, it's an open bar, and then at the end of the hour, Terry has to pick up the tab.
Well, in that case, let's make a Terry Rohr year. You know, Randy, we've been talking about bowling shows, you know, possibly trying to get together on an internet show or something at some point. Terry Rohr would be an excellent guest.
We would crucify him on that show. You know that, right? He would have no chance.
You're right. Hey, if we could pick up one of those koozies, we wouldn't even have to have him on the show. We'd just have the koozie pictured in. Down here on 23 and 24, I got the front 9 for Robert Smith. Robert Smith. There's a few Robert Smiths that bowl. All right, here we go. Robert Smith, lane 24 as the front 9, looking for 10 in a row. Flat 10 still has 279 left. He's got a really nice ball roll, though. Real simple game. And if you look up here, Randy, he's got 455 after 2. So pretty good start.
You're going to have to make your way back here in a minute, my friend.
I'll head there now.
Donnie Benson's working on the front 8. Remember last game he bowled 300, looking to go back-to-back jacks Back-to-back 300 games. Front 8 stepping up here in the 9th frame.
We've got a lot of strikes down here on 15 and 16.
We got a lot of strikes in this building. Yeah, it looked a little left out of his hand the whole way, partner.
I got to swap out some batteries on this mic.
Terry Rohr just wrote in that Wes Pye is driving the bus that I'm throwing him under. That is classic. You know we love you, Terry.
That is pretty good.
As far as you know. All right. Good stuff going on here. Lots of striking. 266 followed by 279 back-to-back on 21 and 22. Lots of strikes.
And we've got 2 more squads of this, too, today.
And 2 more squads of 10-pin parties in the pit.
Yeah, I saw that you had an opportunity to spend a little time with Mr. Stone.
I did. It was great to see my old buddy Rob Stone. I miss working with him. He's just a great guy, him and his entire family and his wife Lynn. And it was nice to hang out with Rob for an evening when we were in L.A. doing the Chris Paul Celebrity Classic. It was a good time.
Well, I heard he was in the front row, or he's watching.
Rob actually, he actually came to the event and watched for a bit. And so, yeah, he was there. He made an appearance. As soon as I saw him when he walked into the building, I immediately yelled, "Hambone."
I will tell you that prior to working for Storm, prior to starting Inside Bowling, watching the telecast when Rob started on the scene, I fell in love with his delivery and his creativeness, and I was a big Rob Stone fan, and I watched people socially destroy the man. But then now that he's been gone, I've seen like a lot of people defend and say we really miss him.
Really?
So you really
imagine that.
So you really don't know what you have until it's gone, type thing. So one thing that I just want to throw out there to you, buddy, is I've watched Rob Stone and I've followed his career and what he's done since bowling, and he's really, really made a name for himself with the Fox Sports 1 network. I really watched him this year doing the college nights, and he did a fantastic job anchoring those sets. And I'm really proud of the work that he's done. Not that he needs to hear that from me, but I'm really pleased to see how his career has gone. So I'm going to throw this out there to you. If there's ever an opportunity where the stars would align, I would love to have Rob Stone spend a few minutes in the booth with us calling some bowling action.
Well, he would love that, and I would love that as well. Rob Stone's an extremely talented guy, and, the bowling community, they were a little quick to jump all over him for the Hambone thing, but I don't think they realized the genius behind it. And it created a wildfire, and it created talk and buzz in a sport that, quite honestly, needed an injection of life, and he did that. And back then, if you were to poll our viewing audience, 50% of our viewing audience would say they loved the ham bone, and 50% would say they hated it. But if nothing else, it created talk, it created chatter, and it created the chat room conversations. It created a buzz. And he knew that was going to happen. And that's why he did it. He didn't just pull this name out of his rear end and go, I'll just call it a ham bone today.
No, he thought it out.
He's a really smart, creative, funny, clever man. And I'm proud to be able to call him my friend. He's a good dude.
So if we had to set up the perfect scenario to have Rob Stone call bowling on an internet broadcast for just a few minutes of his time, I would have to imagine we'd have to have an event in California, and he'd have to be in town, and it would have to be convenient for him to be able to make it.
Not to mention the fact that you'd have to have the right players on the show. I mean, if you're going to do this, let's do it right.
Okay.
So, number one, I don't have a pen and paper in front of me, but I didn't bring my scribble pad. And so, number one.
There's your space.
Number one, are we going top 5 stepladder?
Sure, that's fine.
This is top 5 Rob Stone. Okay?
I was thinking also even just during a qualifying squad where he could really let it loose and say whatever he wants, really go crazy.
Oh no, this is a top 5 stepladder internet show where he can let loose.
All right. Top number 5, Terry Rohr. No.
Number 1.
Is he the top seed, or would you want him 5th so you could have?
I'm
more
saying
of them?
the number 1 player.
Okay.
Not the seed. Not the seed. Number 1 player on the show, seated anywhere. But he would have to be there. This would be your first pick. If you were picking 5 names to be on this show for Rob Stone to call the action once again, these are the 5 names.
5 names.
First name off the board, PDW.
He seemed to really take a liking to Rob and played off of Rob when he was on there. Every time 4 in a row, it was.
I got your ham bone right here, Rob. That was direct from Pete Weber. He would turn to the booth, give the crotch chop, and say, I got your ham bone right here.
You're right.
And Rob Stone loved it. Bowler number 2.
Okay.
Come on. You got to chime in sometime.
Oh, you want me to give one?
Well, I want you to. Now, it's probably a little more difficult for you because
it is difficult.
Because you didn't do the shows with him. So
Patrick Allen. Because he would always say, yeah, Hoss.
Patrick Allen is in the top 5, but he's not the number 2.
Okay.
Number 2 is Wes Malott, the big nasty.
Okay. All right, so Wes and Pete, PA somewhere in there.
All right, let's throw PA in the mix. So we've got Wes Malott, PA, Patrick Allen. Yeah, Hoss! Yeah, Hoss!
I just specifically remember hearing that a lot.
Number 4. Jason Belmonte. Loves the style, loves the heat, loves the power, the raw power and revolutions. And number 5, last but not least, I'm having trouble coming up with a name. Let me think. One of his favorites.
Yeah, I'm trying to think of that too.
You know who one of his favorites was?
Who's that?
And is Bill O'Neill.
Yeah.
He likes him some Bill O'Neill.
Yeah, that's true. I know we could go to Twitter and we could just look at who he follows.
That would be a lot of fun. That would be a fun show to do, the 3 of us knocking that one out of the park. That would be awesome.
I'd just like to be around him and talk to him a little bit, get to know him, and I'd like to ask him some of the questions that I'd like to do a sit-down interview, catching up with Rob Stone. However many years past doing PBA, and throw out some controversial topics. Let me tell you a really, really cool story, Randy. I mean, I think this is a cool story. I'm going to bring it into the booth for a second, tell this story. So I did this Chris Barnes interview a couple weeks ago with him coming over to 900 Global. We did it in Jim Callahan's living room.
I figured that's where you guys were.
Yeah, and I put together a list of questions for Chris. And I don't know if you know this or not, but on YouTube, there was someone that had a video that was called Chris Barnes Choke Artist.
Oh, God.
Okay, and it went to Beck's Loser song. I'm a loser, baby, so why don't you kill me?
Okay.
And he's throwing these shots, and he's missing the head pin, and he's leaving all. And it's just a terrible video. I mean, terrible. Okay, terrible. Like Charles Barkley, terrible.
That's terrible.
Yeah.
That's terrible.
So in the interview, I asked Chris about it. Kind of a controversial question. I said, but Chris, all the negativity in bowling, I hate seeing it. I've seen the video, I don't know if you have on YouTube, of the Chris Barnes Choke Fest, blah, 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 Choke Artist. What do you think? And he goes, well, I'm sure there were a lot of people that were tuning in. If a train wreck's going to happen, they were waiting to see it happen again, and it did happen a lot early in my career. But you just learn from it, and you get better from it. And he gave a great answer. So I was telling someone about this, and 2 days after the interview, the person pulled it down off of YouTube.
Nice.
Gone.
Wow.
So when you attack something or you address something head on,
Right.
and this has to be a YouTube junkie anyway, and the interview was posted on YouTube.
Sure.
That person watched the interview, and I truly believe they said, wow, that wasn't right of me to do, and they pulled it down. Thought that was a cool story.
Yep.
Don't throw it underneath the rug. Bring it out. Tell everybody about it, and then boom, gone. So I thought that was cool.
I just don't like when people take shots at other people because of jealousy, or maybe because they don't particularly like a certain person or whatnot. It was unfortunately for me, it was stuff that I had to cover, and I had to cover honestly, and it was part of the Barnes story for a lot of shows that Rob and I did together. And it's my job as a broadcaster to bring that up, and you try to do it as eloquently as possible without beating anybody up. And with Barnes, he was always very, very good about it, very gracious about it, and understanding that it is my job to cover the sport and cover what's going on. And I never got any grief from him about stating factual information about his struggles on television. But I'm always the first guy that's going to give somebody kudos as well for doing great things. It's not my job to go out and beat people up on the show for performing badly. Our sport doesn't need that. Our sport doesn't need to be torn down any more than it already has been.
Randy Pedersen and Mike Flanagan here, 2015 Military Bowling Championships. Game number 4, this double set here on the 8 a.m. squad. We have another squad coming up at noon, and then another one at 4 today. Then that's going to conclude our coverage from this event. We've been here the last 2 days. We had team event on Monday, singles yesterday, doubles today. All of the videos will be archived on the Inside Bowling YouTube channel. We'll begin archiving tomorrow evening, and everything should be posted by Sunday afternoon. You can go back and rewatch some of the great moments. We've been out with the wireless camera quite a bit, doing some interviews, covering some really high scores. Tim Mack, Wes Pye, and myself the last 2 days. Today, Randy and I, Wes will join us later. Randy, I really appreciate you stopping by to be with us today, to be part of this. It's always great, when we put together who we're going to have working these events. Anytime that there's some sort of broadcast or camera involved, having you part of it is just a real treat with all the experience that you have, knowledge that you have, and professionalism that you have.
And thanks for stopping by, San Diego. Oh, I'm sorry. You were talking about me?
You.
Thanks, buddy. I enjoy doing it, and I enjoy working with you. I mean, you're only as good as your broadcast partner. I'm going to just throw that out there. Now, I'm not blowing smoke up your skirt.
Okay.
It's just the way it is.
Well, thanks. I'll tell you, you and I, when we've worked together, I haven't been at my best, really. I got to be honest. The first time we worked together, I was the tournament director at that event, and I did not sleep the night before. All of my cameras and things didn't seem to be wanting to cooperate. I was totally fried, and I got to work with you for the first time, and I really didn't even know you. And that was a really tough night. As much I wanted to enjoy it, but it was hard to enjoy just because of all the other things that were going on. So I changed the format of the tournament the next year so I knew I could get some sleep. And then last year, our computer was about melted, and it was just difficult getting her going. So I'm hoping that you can make it this year again, last weekend in April. I know that it's got to work in your schedule, but this year it will actually be the first year I'll be able to really enjoy it.
Oh, that wasn't for me.
This year will be the first year I'll get to really enjoy it if we can make that happen. So crazy. I just got confirmation from Tino DeFranco and Ray Bluth that we are going to be having the event there again. They're hosting the NCAA championships at Tropicana Lanes in St. Louis 2 weeks prior. And we weren't sure if we were going to be able to go back because the leagues are taking off so many times this year in that busy bowling center. I was possibly going to have to move the event to Cleveland or Chicago or something.
Oh, you can't do that.
Well, that's what I said.
No.
So the league is being gracious enough to take off another week.
That would be like moving the arch. Are you kidding me?
Moving the inside bowling tournament is like moving the arch, according to Randy. Thank you for that. So we didn't get out with the wireless there at the end of that game because we didn't have a ton of strings. Randy, down there on 27 and 28, is that all strikes on the leadoff bowler?
Mike, I can't see that far.
I think it is, so I'm going to hop out here.
All right. Let me know what you find on your recon, buddy.
I will tell you, as you get older, you lose things like being able to walk, being able to see.
And you get hair growing out of places you wish it didn't.
Boy, you're not kidding. No, my eyes were deceiving me. Let's see what else is shaking down here. Bunch of 290s. A lot of guys missed in the first frame. Okay, I'm coming back.
Good, I miss you. Hurry.
Hey, how about this? How about you got the camera?
Hang on, I'll get there right now. Do it, man.
Here we go, Turbo. Just wanted to show everybody the Turbo booth right here. Some of the items that they have here at the Turbo booth. Turbo, sponsor of the event.
Well done, sir.
Hey, Randy, let's get I'm gonna get a shot of this banner too. How about that? You ready?
I am.
Look at this banner.
Good stuff.
That's a big banner.
Yes, sir. It's a beautiful banner.
Spans 12 lanes.
I've got a great military story for you when you come back into the booth.
Hit me with your best shot.
So I'm doing an exhibition in Okinawa, Japan at Kadena Air Force Base. And I'm out playing golf with one of the enlisted men. I'll never forget his nickname. It was Goldie. And I met him at the center. I'll wait for you to put your cans on. So I meet him at the center, start talking about golf. He goes, well, you know, we have a course on base. And so we go out and play the next day. Well, the golf course, number 5 and number 6 run parallel to the runway. And the F-15s have been staging and taking off and flying overhead all day. And I'm really into that kind of stuff. And they're just flying over, and you can hear them, you know,
Sure.
when they're taking off, how loud they are, and I really like that. And I just looked at him and I said, you know, that is the most awesome sound I've ever heard. And he goes, you know what that sound is? And I said, yeah, the jet engine. He goes, no, that's the sound of freedom.
Oh. Wow.
Never forgotten it.
Very, very nicely played there.
That was 10 years ago. I miss going to Kadena. Truly love all of the military installations I've visited around the world, here in the States as well. I've been to Yokosuka Naval Base. I was actually there doing an exhibition during the Japan Cup one year, and they took us on a frigate ship. And they showed us basically what all this frigate ship can do, and all of its armory and everything else. And they had this one gun on this frigate ship, and it was called the R2-D2. And it was like, it shoots like, I don't know, something ridiculous, like 1,000 rounds per second. And it's all motion censored. And so that was pretty cool. But I remember them taking us to the bow of the ship. We're standing on the bow, looking out into Tokyo Bay as a Japanese sub is coming in.
Oh, man.
It was the coolest thing ever.
You know, I live in Utah now, and there's this religion called the Mormon religion, and all of the Mormon youth have to go on a mission where they have to go experience being in a different environment and spreading the Book of Mormon and talking about it. And I don't understand how all of it works, but the point that I'm trying to make here is it was brought up yesterday that it would almost be cool if everybody had to at least observe or be around military. Like it was like just a prerequisite. It was a mandatory thing you had to do, like go live on a naval base for a month or volunteer to do something.
The world would be a better place. I mean, the U.S. would be a much better place. The stuff that these men and women are taught, the understanding of what it's like to have respect, understanding higher command. I mean, just the simple saluting. It's ingrained in all of these men and women that bowl the military bowling championships, and all of our servicemen and women around the world. They're all cut from the same cloth. You know, you go down and you introduce yourself to these folks. And, hi, how you doing? I'm Randy P. Yes, sir. It's nice to meet you, sir.
Yeah. I was getting it when I'd come down and I'd video somebody. Thank you so much for doing that, sir.
Yeah.
Thank you for being here, sir.
You know how many of these folks have thanked us for being here? And I'm like, no, thank you for being here.
Exactly. Now, let's add a little humor here for a minute. We're talking about movies, military-themed movies, and I want to take you to one of my all-time favorite movies. It's a comedy.
And I'm going to give you a little quote from the movie, and you're going to know what it is.
Okay.
But Randy, when it comes to broadcasting and when it comes to my Rolodex of people, if I ever need advice on how to get better at broadcasting, you're my big toe.
Okay, Mr. Push-Ups. Okay.
Could you imagine pro bowlers in the movie Stripes?
Yeah, I could.
In present day bowling, wouldn't Belmo be Bill Murray?
Maybe.
With all of the things that Belmo does to put himself out there, he's hanging out with Skrillex when he's supposed to be bowling
Yeah.
the World Series of Bowling. And,
Okay.
you know, who would be John Candy? The guy that he always just says, all right, I'll do it if I have to, and he'll do mud wrestling and whatever.
That
but
would be me. That would be me. I would get in the pit.
yeah, you're all right.
I would be John Candy in there.
Who would be Francis or Psycho?
Adam Apoe.
Adam Apoe.
Yeah.
Don't call me Francis, or I'll kill you.
Yeah, Adam Apoe's from Hawaii. Used to bowl on tour, and you never wanted Adam to be mad at you. Let's just put it that way. He was crazy. Great guy till he got mad. And then he's just started filling up the room with uppercuts.
Body blow. Knock him out.
All right, everybody, giving you an update here. We are here at the Orleans in Las Vegas, Nevada. Randy Pedersen along with Mike Flanagan. We're here at the 2015 Military Bowling Championships. Brought to you by Budweiser. For all you do, this Bud's for you. I should have done that like Harry Carey. Let me do that one more time, okay?
Okay.
Hi, everybody, it's me, Harry. That's all I got.
Well, what about the rest?
Nah, maybe later.
Okay.
All right. So it is game 3.
4.
I'm sorry, game 4.
It's flying along here.
We had 2 300s already this morning, right?
Yep, 2.
Lots of striking. There's more striking going on here than a Union picket line. Hey now. Thank you. I'll be here all week.
There's more friction out here than you'd find at any family reunion.
That's a Randyism.
I know, and Matt Turk typed it in earlier.
Okay. That guy's all over him like a bulldog on a pork chop. I wanted to use the term bum on a bologna sandwich, but I can't say that on ESPN.
Wow, really?
Yeah, there's no way that they'd let me get away with that.
I heard that Belmo got slightly yelled at in the
reprimanded?
headset for saying Marvel S on the show.
Well, I actually hit talkback, and I said to the producer, I said, you got to tell him not to plug Storm bowling balls. You just can't do that. Because what ends up happening is the other manufacturers call on Monday to Tom Clark, the PBA, and they said, well, I like that move. You put another Storm guy in the booth, and then you let him sit there and talk about
Storm
bowling balls.
And you had all 3 Storm guys on the show. Isn't it enough?
Yeah, and
Yeah,
it's a tough.
It is tough.
It's a tough environment for me being a Storm staffer, and then having to walk that fine line of being loyal to Storm and being loyal to the show, and so it's a fine line. But you just can't get up in the booth. You know, Kimberly was doing the interviews with some of the Motive guys afterwards. What was the first thing that they said? They plugged the bowling ball.
Yeah, they won.
Now, that's their right, and you know what? Good for them for doing that.
Just like NASCAR.
Absolutely, and you know, that's what they should have done. But, you know, the booth is different. You can't get up there and just start, you know, just...
Belmo made his debut. and that was pretty cool.
It was his television debut. I thought he was great. The ball went out for burger and fries and came back a steak and baked potato. That's still one of my faves.
I'll tell you what I thought was a cool thing that you did is the Stuart Scott reference. You got it in there. I was waiting for it.
I had to get it in for Stuart, and I was trying to figure out. It was in my head. I was going to use cooler than the other side of the pillow, and I was just trying to kind of figuring out where that would fit into that show. And I said, you know what? I'll do it during the Geico. And I got a lot of comments and tweets from some of my fans that came back to say, hey, nice thing to do, classy. And how could you not?
Yeah. I will say that, and I tweeted this when Stuart passed away, was the word booyah will forever be in my vocabulary because of him.
He was just really, really good at what he did. And then he did it with a completely different style, unknown to broadcasting. And I think he really opened a lot of doors for a lot of people that may not have been given that opportunity. And Stuart Scott was just a great dude.
I cried like a baby when I watched their little tribute that morning.
That was a pretty tough show to watch. Tug on your heartstrings there. That was tough.
I watched Sports Center a lot when I was 13 through 20, like nightly. Get home from closing the bowling center, and that 2 o'clock Sports Center would come on Midwest time, and it was awesome.
Well, I never had the opportunity to work with Stuart, but guys like myself never really got to Bristol, where ESPN headquarters is located, and so that's where all the sports centers were shot before they came out with Sports Center in LA, and so I never really had the opportunity to work with, but I'll tell you what, I watched him a lot, as you did, and we all missed Stuart Scott. So
you just don't realize what you have. We talked about it earlier. You don't realize what you have until it's gone.
Right.
And Olbermann and Patrick. Rich Eisen is now with the NFL Network, and he worked with Stuart for many, many years at Sports Center. And you look at a guy like Chris Berman, and he's been there for so long.
Right.
And he's still doing Sunday NFL Countdown and all that stuff. It's just, I love what ESPN has done for professional athletes too. A lot of people have been able to make careers,
right.
Anchoring down those booths. I particularly really enjoyed Matt Ryan. They used Matt Ryan once Atlanta didn't make the play. Very
well spoken, Matt Ryan. Yeah, class. You could just hear the class in this guy, and very well spoken. A real easy listen. I really like a lot of the guys that they use, and I have my favorites, and I don't need to mention them, but they've really done some good stuff with a lot of ex-athletes. The other thing I like is some of the commercials that ESPN puts out there when they use the athletes, they use the mascots.
Uh-huh.
Some of those are so good. The one, I think one of my favorites was with Albert Pujols when he's playing a cyborg. I thought that was just great.
Or when they install the speed bumps outside.
So good.
Yeah.
And who was it? Was it Jimmy Johnson that's out there with a pickaxe?
I think so, yeah.
That's so good.
It's just the creativity and the things that they've done over the years. It's just amazing.
And Dan Patrick's spot, they're towing Danica Patrick's race car away.
Oh, boy. And I have a big admiration and appreciation for what Dan Patrick's doing on his own with his radio show and his video show, and I'll tell you, I personally believe right now that NBC Sports on Sunday Night Football in America has the best ever put together broadcast team with Costas and Tony Dungy and Dan Patrick, and then Collinsworth and Al Michaels. Michelle Tafoya, the whole thing.
It's a good watch.
Really like that. And a lot of people don't know this, but you can go online and you can pick what camera angle you want. You can do the sky cam, you can do whatever you want. Just talking a little broadcasting here during the 4th game of this 8 a.m. squad of the Military Bowling Championships. And speaking of broadcasting and watching other sports besides bowling, you know, the armed forces are always being talked about in the National Football League, the Pat Tillman Award and different things like that. Just a lot of great stories coming out of sports and the military. San Diego Padres have a certain uniform they wear on specific days. It's camouflage.
Yes.
A lot of people don't think about this, but men in sports, sports is the first reality show. It's the first reality TV shows.
Interesting. Did I ever tell you that I went to the Vietnam Memorial with Johnny Petraglia
No.
years ago? One of the, it was one of the most profound days of my life, and watching Johnny in that scenario and going through the books and looking at the names and then finding the names on the wall. And man, what a day that was.
Yeah, it's places you go like that just makes you close your eyes and think a little bit. I had the privilege of going to the 9/11 memorial where the towers were when I went to the UBA 2 years ago. Went there with Roger Nordick and Cecil Scarborough. And boy, was that really, really breathtaking.
All right, back to bowling. We've got some action going down over here on 15 and 16. Mike Flanagan's going to head down. We've got a player with the first 8 strikes in a row. And Randy, he needs to see him another 300 game before lunch. So don't disappoint. And for those of you that are following along on the chat room, yes, Johnny Petraglia did serve in Vietnam.
We do have a player that is still eligible for bowling multiple 300s in this event. John Hughes is over on 13. He had 300 in the team event and now has the first 5 on 13 and 14. That would be pretty cool. Bowl 2 300s in the same event.
Yes, sir. Tell you what, getting into brackets in this tournament, Mike, is got to be pretty tough with all the big games being bowled. Flanagan in position. There is a look at, trying to see the name, Chris Olson's got front 8 getting up right now. Playing the deep inside line, and that's 10 in the pit. All right, no black cloud there, Mike Flanagan. Normally when you walk down with that camera, people start to get a little shy.
Sometimes.
Well, we'll have to wait for 3 more bowlers finishing their 10th frame before we can actually get back to that 300 action. Flanagan is our roaming reporter. He is lurking, stalking, trying to find the story.
I'm wearing out the tile. Wearing out the tile.
Hey, Mike, what's for lunch? I'm starving.
I guess we got to do food court. We've got Fuddruckers, Subway.
Hey, watch your mouth. Oh, you said Fuddruckers. Okay, my bad.
Sabaro.
Sabar, negative.
I'm 100%
Negative Ghost Rider.
I'm 100% on board with you on
Yeah,
that.
negative Ghost Rider. Hey, there's no way pizza should taste like the box it comes in. You know what I'm saying? I'm just saying.
I heard that it was just a bunch of cooking oil that sits overnight and hardens, and they put pepperonis on top of it.
How does it taste? Tastes just like it smells. Delicious. Terry Rohr just wrote in, beer-soaked hot dogs from the back of the sports book. Best in Vegas. Nothing like some unidentifiable animal meat put in a massive load of carbohydrate and then shoving it in your face.
Unidentifiable animal meat. I've never heard that one before.
Unidentifiable. I mean, you don't know what's in a hot dog,
No,
really.
No, you don't. Now, I heard the all beef ones are okay.
Yeah, it's all mixed beef of you don't know what. But I got to be honest with you. I'm sounding like, Mr. High and Mighty up here. I freaking love hot dogs. And you throw some chili and cheese on it, and we're going to have a party.
Are you a ballpark guy or an Oscar Mayer?
I'm a Nathan's guy. I love Nathan's hot dogs. They've got that little snap to them when you bite into them. I wonder if you could, dip hot dogs in the ranch dressing.
I'm sure you probably could. We should come up with something and call it like a crunch dog.
I mean, doesn't everything taste better with ranch dressing?
Okay, I'm going to throw one at you. We talked about movies, and you're a popcorn guy. Do you put the ranch seasoning on the popcorn?
Negatory. It's just got to be straight popcorn and butter. No ranch sprinkling seasoned salt, whatever other garbage no, it's just popcorn and butter. That's it. Some wet naps afterwards so you don't smell like butter.
What about popcorn salt?
Well, as long as it tastes like regular salt. I mean, hey, don't be throwing any trick questions at me, buddy.
Have you ever stained a shirt with popcorn butter?
Yeah, how many?
Yeah, so I think this is something that needs to be invented, kind of like Post-its.
Every time I eat, I'm staining a shirt. Have you ever seen me eat?
Well, popcorn,
I eat like a Neanderthal.
Popcorn butter is very difficult to get out of clothes.
You can't get it out. Listen, when you're in a movie theater, I bring a bib from home.
Hey, you want to get rich? Let's come out with popcorn butter that doesn't stain your clothes.
How about a bib that you can take to the movies, like a man bib?
Like in Blues Brothers at the table?
Yeah, just some kind of man bib. All right, Flanagan getting set. We've got one more shot here by Donnie Benson in the 10th frame, and then we can get to another possible perfect game. A man bib. I like the sound of that. All right, Chris Olsen getting set here in the 10th frame, and Mike Flanagan, it is on you, my friend. He knows the camera's on him. Right now, he's sweating like he's got malaria. Oh, first ball, 4-pin. Spare strike, 279, but a nice run nonetheless.
Nice run, man. Okay, I'm going to go over to 13 and 14, Randy.
Do it, man. Do it. Let me know if you find something good over there.
All right, I found something. This is John Hughes. He has the front six, and he bowled 300 in the team event.
Love the slap out and the runoff. That was good.
I like the hat on backwards, and he's using the same ball that he used the other day. It's the 900 Global Respect. The same ball Chris Barnes bowled 300 with last weekend.
Hey, I've got a great commercial that they should come out with. Aretha Franklin, her song Respect. Are you listening?
I'm totally on. Yep.
All right, so it's Chris Barnes bowling 300 at the Japan Cup to the song of Aretha Franklin, Respect.
I like it.
Right? Oh, hey, sorry about that. Let me change the camera. Talk about forgetting his role. See, I got into that conversation with you, buddy, and I just lost my mind.
I know it's tough being a multitasker up here.
Listen, I can't be the director and the play-by-play or the color at the same time. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, it is kind of funny. Like, broadcasting is the last thing I think about when I do all these broadcasts. I got to make sure everything's working, clicking the cameras, building the graphics. I'm just amazed that people want to even listen to me after I'm done with all that crap. Certainly winding down here, 10th frame, lane 17 and 18, 225, 213, 159, 201. Got 211 left and another 210. These bowlers have bowled pretty well here today over on 19 and 20. Pretty high scores here. John Metzler bowled 812. Edward Malden, 705. Bob Van Wago, 839. Edwin Debates, 692. Ed Johnson, 724, and Butch Gutierrez, 765. 4 game totals, 19 and 20 in the books. So we'll continue to stay with you as long as John Hughes keeps striking over here on 13 and 14. He's got the front 7. He's getting ready to attempt his 8th frame. And I am on him. Came in just a little bit light, 248. Bowled 698 for his first 3, still has 277 left. Give him a nice 970-ish series, pretty good. Are we back on 17 and 18?
We are giving you the recap of the scores there on your screen. All the bowling's completed. We are back. Mike Flanagan, Randy Pedersen in the booth. I guess it's almost that time, huh?
Yeah, we'll bring it back into the booth. Mike and Randy here. We've watched 4 games now already today on this 8 o'clock squad. The bowlers are done now. They've bowled their all events. Doubles today. We've seen some pretty high scores, a couple of 300 games, and good time calling the action with you.
Thanks. You too. You know what? Great bowling, great action. We're going to see a lot of the same throughout the remainder of the day. But right now, fat guy's got to eat.
Yep, lunchtime. So make sure you stick around. You come back at noon and watch us. This has been coverage from the morning squad here at the Orleans at the 2015 Military Bowling Championships. We'll be back with you in just a little while, and we'll see you on InsideBowling.com.